Hey everybody, it's Jen again. Welcome to New Consultant Training number 5. And so if you're still plugged in, good job. Commitment and following through is a key to this business and the success in this business. The other key is consistency and consistently applying the information that we've given you, the tips, the strategies, and the knowledge over time. So today we're going to talk about training calls, events, resources, and belief. So training calls. Training calls are fabulous. You absolutely have to listen to at least one a week. These calls give you practical tips, suggestions, ideas. I've listened to training calls a few times, the same one, and I always hear something different. There's basically leaders that are sharing their best practices, and they really, really help. So I highly recommend that you pick one a week that you're going to listen to. And remember that these calls are not income-producing activities. So you could listen to a ton of calls every week, but it's not going to get you a paycheck. You need to actually take those suggestions and advice and tips and pointers and put them into practice with that income-producing activity. If you're in a funk or you need some training in a specific area, maybe you want to do some three-way calls and you don't really know how, or you want some pointers on reach outs or best practices for preferred customers, you can go onto the Powered by You page. It's done by Romy and John. And over on the right side, or actually click the Files tab, the Files section, and there'll be a lot of documents in the file section of all of these team Facebook pages. But in Romy's and in Sarah Robbins, they have a file that has all of the past recorded training calls for the last year. So you can go look up a specific topic that you're interested in versus just listening to maybe what was last Sunday night. So you can actually go and get some specific training on specific areas that you need some support in. Team Give has been using Facebook Live for training calls, but don't be fooled by the name. Just because it's Facebook Live doesn't mean that you can't catch the replay. So although it's great to be on the call live, I mean, it's more critical that you get on the call at least once a week. I often can't do live. I often listen to the training calls in my car on the way to work or on the way home from work at least once a week. I usually listen to about 2 a week. Let's see, Sunday nights are a really big night for training calls. So choose one that speaks to you and dial in live if you can or catch the replay. I often also listen to training calls while I'm folding laundry on Sunday night. So those are just my little pointers. So events. We talked about BBLs in video number 2. So today we're going to go over some different types of events that you can be on the lookout for or create yourself. So local events. These are put on by people that maybe are your upline that are local to you or other members on your team. And basically you can typically tap into those. Sometimes it's basically like a fancy BBL at a restaurant or maybe a room at a coffee shop. Maybe it's at even somebody's house and they're just basically inviting other consultants on the team, and there's no reason why you can't hop into those and see if you can invite a few people as well. It's a great way to get your prospects to an event where somebody else is doing a lot of the heavy lifting for you. Don't forget, when you're inviting people to any kind of events, you have to follow up and you have to remind them. People are super busy. It's not when they don't show up, it's not about you. It's about the fact that they're really busy and you just need to remind them. In Pulse, there's a calendar, and basically it has different events that are across the United States and Canada. So you can go look on the calendar and see kind of what's coming up in your area. Maybe you know somebody that lives in Texas, and you see that there's a corporate-led event in Texas on the 25th. You can let your friends and prospects in Texas know that there's an event and you'd love for them to go and get some information. Another way to get people the information without necessarily doing all the heavy lifting. I mean, who wouldn't want corporate to talk to your prospects, right? On the dashboard in Pulse, there's also a tab that says consultant-led events, and those are events done by other consultants in different parts of the United States and Canada that they've opened up. And so maybe if you're traveling through San Francisco on a trip and you notice that there's actually a consultant-led event nearby, maybe in Sonoma County or Santa Rosa, you can RSVP using Eventbrite and go to that event and bring maybe the family that you're visiting in that area with you. So those are consultant-led events. In that calendar, there's also consultant training events. So those aren't necessarily for prospects, but those are for actual trainings for consultants. So oftentimes you have to earn your way there, maybe by reaching a certain PSQV volume or earning a few lead the way miles, but the details will all be spelled out. Then we have business launch events, and those are basically BBLs. And you can, we've talked about those, so I won't go farther into that. And then there's the Road to RFX Lexus Celebration event. So there may be a person that you might not even know that's living near you that just earned their free Lexus from Rodan Fields, and they're having a Lexus celebration event. They will probably have Eventbrite, and you can RSVP and go, and sometimes you can even bring guests, and there's a business presentation at those types of events. So those are just a little bit more information of different events that you can be on the lookout for. We talked about, I think we talked about virtual Facebook events. And those are a great way to engage your network without making them go anywhere or do anything. They can just do it from the comfort of their own home. But once again, following up is pretty important. Okay, resources. So Rodan Fields consultants have a ton of resources to choose from. First of all, your upline is an amazing resource. So if you get stuck or you need some help problem solving, I mean, reach out to them. They want to help you. Sometimes they're a little bit worried about reaching out to you over and over again because they don't want to seem like they're bugging you and annoying you. So reach out to them and ask them your questions. It makes us so happy when people we sponsor ask us for help. The Team Give Handbook is another fabulous resource. In this handbook, there's links to the 14-day training guide and checklists and slides. It's kind of what we've been going over in this video series. So if you wanted to kind of review it in a different format, you could do that there. In the Team Give Handbook, there's also links to really great videos like the doctor's video, the Team Give video, the Today Show video. There's also links to other really great press type resources like the Fox News report, Forbes articles. There's inviting language. There's links to really relevant training calls like how to do three-way calls. There's links to the microsite RF connection when you have like medical questions or ingredient questions or things like that. There's links to the Rodan Fields YouTube channel and the Rodan Fields IRF page that we talked about in video 1 that has all these corporate approved before and after pictures. There's also great marketing ideas in there, and there's also an RF Digi Magalog, which is basically an interactive product guide that you can get the link for and send that to your prospects and check out for yourself. I will post a link in the file section of our August launch team page for you to access that. The Business Development Library is another huge resource. There's so much stuff in the Business Development Library, so much. You can easily get lost in there, so don't, because remember, that's not income-producing activity. But some of the things that I access the Business Development Library for my preferred customers or my consultants are PowerPoints on the different products and regimens. So if you're kind of new and you might need a little refresher on like, well, okay, now why does Soothe work, or what's up with the AMP-MD roller, you can get, you can review the PowerPoint in the Biz Dev Library on those things. I also access PC Perks order forms, and I always have about 10 in my car just in case. You never know. You can access before and after flip books with pictures. So you could send a link of just before and after pictures to people. how-to guides, how to sign up a new PC, how to sign up a new consultant, how to enroll in CRP and Pulse, how to cancel CRP and Pulse, which none of you should do. There's links to press releases and magazine articles. There's business presentations already put together. So if you're going to do a business presentation or a business opportunity get together and you're like, oh my God, I don't know what to say or do, you can go into the BizDev library and get a presentation that's already put together for you. And you can edit it and take out some things that you might not want or just leave it. There's also promotion qualification guidelines. So if you're like, how many legs do I need to have to be a level 2 or a level 3? You can go in there and look at the promotion qualification guidelines and check that out. There's also compensation plan overviews, like, how do we really get paid again? Although some of the images in the BizDev library for that are kind of confusing. Kristen did a really good job on the last video explaining that, so I would watch that. Pulse is another great resource. I use this every month to just check my PSQV and make sure that my CRP and Pulse processed. I also use it to run my AutoShip PC perks reports, and I do this twice a month. I do it on the 21st after all my auto shipments have processed, and I do it again on the 1st. Sometimes when I push out an order on like the 15th, or say I push out an order on the 2nd, and I run the PC perks report on the 20th, sometimes that order for the following month on the 2nd doesn't show up, and so that's why I run it again. It'll show you basically the date that their replenishment is supposed to ship. You can get their email information there. So it's super handy to have. And I just print that PC Perks auto shipment report and carry it around with me. And then every week I sort of check in with the people for the following week. Some people do it once a month for the whole month. I just do it weekly. And did you know that iPhone has an app that's free called Pulse? And basically everything that's on Pulse, pretty much, you can get on your phone on an app. And it's just, I just love it. I look at it all the time. You can access videos there as well. You can access the solution tool from there as well. So it's super handy. Vital Signs is another great report that I run. So once you start to have a team and you kind of want to keep track of where everybody is and who's earning promotions and who's really close, you can run that Vital Signs report and sort of see where everybody's at. And that's under the Performance tab. The Getting Started site on Pulse is another good resource. Basically, when you log into Pulse, over on the left, there's a little icon of a life preserver, and that's the Getting Started site. So if you want to refresh your memory on how to figure out what your why is or how to write your short story, that will take you through that. It'll also give you lots of reach out language and lots of other resources. So you should check that out, because sometimes that training method might be more efficient for some people versus this sort of style with video. The Communication Corner is, once you log into Pulse, in the top right-hand corner, over by where your name is, there's like a drop-down menu and a lot of different areas to go there, but Communications Corner is one of them. They have invitations there that are sorted by product invitations, seasonal product invitations, business invitations. And the Communications Corner also shares graphics that you can share on social media. And that Facebook cover pictures that are actually the right size. I don't know if anybody's had any troubles, but sometimes when I'm trying to put a Facebook cover picture on it, it always tells me it's the wrong size. And so if you go into the Communications Corner, because you want to do a Facebook cover picture from Rhode Island Fields, you can get one there. The great thing about all the invitations in the Communications Corner is that they can be edited to have your information and your date and the location of your event, and you can share that. Oops. You can share that on social media. You can share it via email. You can share it via text picture. You can save it as a graphic. It's super handy. And the last thing we're going to talk about in this video is belief. I really cannot emphasize enough how important belief is to your business. You have to have belief in this business channel of direct sales. You have to have belief in yourself primarily, and you have to have belief in these doctors and the products that they've developed. We were all scared in the beginning. And, scared is a term that's perceived differently by different people. But every one of us was a little bit intimidated in the beginning. And if they're telling you they weren't, they're lying to you. We just sort of pushed through and took the next step. And we developed that belief over time. I didn't necessarily believe in this business channel. I believed in the products, and I did believe in myself, but the business channel I wasn't super sure about. But over time, I've developed that belief. So just because you don't have belief in all of those areas right this minute, you will. But you have to plug into those training calls. You have to talk with your upline, and you have to be open. Open and know that in time it will come. My epiphany of belief really happened at convention in 2014. I was a level 3, and I was starting to build a team, but I wasn't really sure where I was going or what I was doing really. And at some point they asked everybody in the room that was a level 3 to stand up. All the ECs stand up, all level 1s stand up, all level 2s. So I was level 3. So when I stood up, Shannon Hogan told me, look around. So I turned around and looked in the room, and there was less than 30 people standing up. And I think the room probably had, thousands of people were in the room. In that moment, I realized that I could do this too. There's so many things that we have to believe in and have faith in every single day that we didn't necessarily have belief or faith in the first time we experienced it. When my son was just learning how to drive, I certainly did not have belief that he was going to come home without a dent in himself or a dent in the car. But every day that he went out in that car and every day that he came back, my belief grew and got stronger and stronger. And now I have total belief and faith that he can drive the car and come back and be okay. Rodan & Fields is a little bit like that. You have to have faith in something bigger than you. And in our case with Rodan & Fields, it's really about having faith in these doctors, having faith in the products, having faith in this business channel, and having faith that and belief that there's a lot of people that have gone before us and have been successful. And there's absolutely no reason why you or I can't do exactly the same thing if that's what we want to do. Sometimes you just have to listen to somebody else and believe what they're saying. And so if you're like I was 3 years ago, I'm telling you, just hear me out, trust me, be coachable, and believe, because it will happen if you want it to. In this business, this business of no's, we learn through failure. So accept that fact, but don't take it personally. When people give you no's or not right now's, it's really not about you. It's about timing for them. It's about a lot of things, but it's about them. It's not about you. You can't control them, and you can't convince them. We're not in the business of convincing. We're really in the business of giving people information in a way that they can hear it. And so if you're getting no's or not right now's, reflect on how you're giving the information. Maybe you need to tweak up the language a little bit and talk to your upline to help you. Maybe you just have to refine some communication skills. I mean, this business is all about learning and growing and professional development. And as long as you're coachable and willing to ask for input and support and guidance, we're here to help you and give some of that to you. By all means, we're not perfect, and just because I'm a level 5 doesn't mean that I have any different skills than you do, and just because Kristen's driving a Lexus doesn't mean she has any different skills than I do. It's basically time in the business and time committed to the task at hand. Keep in mind that you are offering them something. They're not doing you a favor by becoming a preferred customer or being a consultant. You're offering them an opportunity to partner with these doctors in this amazing business opportunity with these awesome products that actually work. And you're going to help them get started, and you're going to help them build the business that they want to build. So you are really doing them a huge favor and giving them a huge opportunity. And you need to believe that, and you need to own that, and you need to walk with confidence in that, because that is the truth. We really hope that these training sessions were helpful to you, and that they help you get off to a good start. But please remember all the tips and strategies we've given to you. Plug in, be coachable, talk to your upline, identify what your goals are, why you're doing this, and talk to people. It's really only about that. It's a numbers game, and the more people you talk to, the more opportunity you have to change people's lives and help them change your skin. So thanks again, everybody. I'll post the homework on the page, and we'll talk to you soon.